Okay, so if you had to survive with only one kitchen appliance, which one would you choose out of, and these are separate entities, an oven, a stove, or a microwave? Or a pressure cooker. I will also allow pressure cooker.
I so
You
I
have
can
to
only
pick
have
one.
access to one of those
Only one
appliances.
of those.
Probably stove.
Okay, next one.
Uh, okay.
A dishwasher or a garbage disposal?
In addition to the
In
stove that I
addition to
have,
your stove.
like what's the use of a garbage disposal on a fucking desert island?
Well, you're not on a desert island, you're just in a shitty house.
um uh uh God, I don't know. Probably the dishwasher.
That's a good choice. All right, air conditioning or
Fuck's
heating?
sake.
You get one but not the other. Or at least it's like one is built into your house, the other one is not. Obviously, you can do shit like buying a fan or space
I
heater.
mean, I mean that's easy because we don't have AC at all. Like, and we don't really have a heater. We have a fireplace that we build fires with. So, heater, I guess.
Okay.
It's a lot easier to cool down than it is to heat up. I think, especially in like you could die from it being too cold.
Yeah, this is true. You can also die from it being too hot.
Yeah, but I mean, I could get a fan and cool down that way.
Not if you're in the desert.
Well, am I on a desert island or am I in a shitty house?
Maybe you're in a shitty house on a desert island.
This is stupid. Is this going somewhere?
No, I'm looking at rentals, so I was trying to figure out what's most important. Not really. I was just being obnoxious.
Well, I mean, welcome to Have That Podcast at Home. I'm on Brent Gamage.
And I'm on brand Rachel, and this is our off brand podcast. The only podcast to venture bravely into the unknown and decide that Dadaism is psychosis and not art.
Dadaism?
It's a type of art. Google it. I think it's Salvador Dali is Dadaism. But that's not a type of art. It's psychosis.
Why am I Googling it then?
uh.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your word for it.
Yeah, because
Anyway,
you can't Google it.
Each week we play Russian roulette with our success and spin a wheel to find out the genre of next week's podcast.
This week we're attempting the fine art of true crime.
Dadaism is an artistic movement from the early 20th century, predating surrealism with its roots in a number of major blah, 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 blah.
Words,
Humor and whimsy tending toward the absurd. Oh, so it's like random XD humor?
No, it's psychosis.
What makes this psychosis?
I don't know. Why not?
Okay.
I wasn't expecting you to ask me questions about
baseless
this.
accusations into the ether.
Look, it was the first thing that popped into my head because you normally read the intro, so I'm always very thrown off when I need to read it.
I like to think that we go back and forth depending on how we feel.
And I'm always terrified when the roles are switched.
We have a script for a reason.
Yes, but that part of the script has blanks.
Blanks. All right. So this episode is a true crime podcast. We're a true crime podcast today. But
yes, it's very serious. Pum pum pum.
I have devised a game to play. Do you like games?
Oh God. Yes, I guess.
Okay.
I'm scared.
So I mean this very loosely because I actually got most of this from a YouTube React video, and then I added a couple extra things to it as well as context.
Okay.
Have a quiz set up, and I'm going to read you a plot summary, and you're going to tell me if it is a real true crime story or if it is the plot to a movie, and then what movie that is.
Oh fuck. All right. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I'm glad.
See how many true crime movies I've seen. Or wait, I have a question.
Sure.
Are some of them both?
We'll get to that.
Okay. All right. I'm
Because
taking that as a probably yes.
I mean, I've definitely like the ones that I wrote myself. I definitely found some revelations too. So we'll get there.
I'm
First
intrigued.
one, number one, 1986. A father and his two daughters were tormented by a teenager who lived inside their walls for weeks. He was known for changing TV channels, moving objects within the residence, and consuming their food. Obsessed with one of the daughters of the house, he wrote messages on the wall like, "Marry me," and "I'm in your room," using condiments from the fridge.
Marry me and I'm in your room.
Yes.
He didn't want to get more poetic than those two things.
Well, I mean, have you ever tried to write something in mustard? Like, after.
Actually, yes. And it's doable enough to go further than that.
It's murder on the wrists, in my opinion. Like, especially, it's on a wall, so, like, you have to angle it.
No, you could just finger paint it.
Okay, well, is this real or is this a movie?
I'm gonna go with that's real, because that would be a
Real?
kind of a shitty movie.
I don't know. I've seen worse movies. This is real.
Of course it is. There's a fucking
Uh,
teenager living in my walls. That's
The
horrifying.
man hiding in the walls was 15-year-old Daniel LaPlante, a neighborhood thief who would break into neighborhood homes and steal valuables before graduating to mind games. He would move things
What
around,
the
leave
fuck?
things behind. Yeah. He eventually became obsessed with fellow 15-year-old Tina Bowen, who attended the same school together. LaPlante would eventually gain entrance into the Bowen home and find a crawl space no wider than 6 inches, which he used to hide and engage in psychological torment.
That's batshit.
It
Worse?
progresses. After watching Tina and her sister use a Ouija board to contact their recently deceased mother,
Oh
LaPlante
my
began
God.
impersonating a ghost, changing TV channels, drinking, eating things from the kitchen, writing messages like "Marry me" and "I'm in your room, come and find me." So it was a longer message. On the walls using mayonnaise and ketchup.
Wait, was it like all together? Like, marry me, period. I'm in your room, comma, come and find me. Love, wall ghost. And then he crossed out wall.
In one instance, a family photo was pinned to the wall using a knife. So the father, Frank Bowen, disregarded these as pranks the daughters were playing on each other until one day the family returned home to discover that someone had used the toilet. Which is weird. Like, if I came home and there was just pee in the toilet, I'd be like, bleh, and just flush it.
Yeah, like, someone forgot to flush.
So
Or
Frank
do you think
searched
he,
the
like,
house.
pooped on the toilet, you know?
I mean, like, actually, if you came home and there's, like, a fucking log and you're like, well, not me, not you.
I would just think one of my kids lied to me.
Well, I mean,
I'd be
yeah,
like,
that's
just
what...
fucking flush it. I don't even think I'd ask.
So Frank searched the house and found LaPlante in a wardrobe, face painted, wearing a Native American-style jacket and ninja mask with a hatchet in hand.
What the fuck?
LaPlante corralled them into a bedroom before disappearing somewhere into the house.
Is it
The
a bad
Bowens-
joke to say, was he inspired by Indian in the Cupboard?
This is 1986, so I doubt it.
When did that movie come out?
That movie came out in the 90s. The book, I don't know when the book came out, though.
Well, anyway, continue.
Fact check.
Is that Brittany?
We have a fact check now. Brittany.
I love this. Brittany, fact check.
Other podcasts have like there's I don't remember all the
Other
names.
podcasts have a Brittany.
Like a manager or
Yes.
shit.
Someday. when
Yes,
we
for
get our
Indian in the
first
Cupboard. Are you paying
paycheck. Yes, for Indian in the Cupboard, the cats were fighting. Oh, I need
This
a
is a
fact
mess.
check. How many cats?
Book was 1980.
Coulda
movie
happened.
was 1995.
Could have happened then.
Yeah. Very well. Yeah. So, the Bowens made an escape and then contacted police, who would find LaPlante 2 days later in a triangular space in the corner of the cellar. That's not where the story ends. LaPlante was held in a
So
juvenile
excited.
facility until his mother could bail him out by remortgaging her home. That's a rough move. While
Rough
awaiting
for your psychotic ghost child.
While awaiting trial, LaPlante continued breaking into neighborhood homes and stealing possessions, including two .22 caliber firearms. On December 1st, 1987, he entered the Gustafsons' home, expecting them to be out. Pregnant nursery school teacher Priscilla Gustafson and her 5-year-old son, William, returned home, prompting LaPlante to confront them using one of the .22 firearms. This is where it gets bad. Trigger
Oh God,
warnings.
literally, because it's a gun.
William was
soon?
put into a William was put into a closet, and Priscilla was tied to the bed and gagged with one of LaPlante's socks. He proceeded to assault Priscilla in the worst ways before shooting her twice in the head.
What
He then
the
took
fuck?
William. I know.
Could
He
you
then
imagine taking out a second mortgage on your house for this shithead?
fucking right. That's what I'm saying.
Ugh, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, you could have turned a leaf or something, or paid rent.
It's definitely not over.
Mm.
So he then took William into the bathroom and drowned him. As LaPlante was leaving,
the
he
fuck?
encountered 7-year-old Abigail Gustafson, who had just returned home from school. He drowned her in another bathroom.
Holy
LaPlante
shit.
returned home and attended his niece's birthday party.
What the fuck? Man, you know what? You know what really makes me want cake? Drowning people.
That's fucked up, Rachel.
I've been trying to make progressively fucked up jokes, okay? That one just actually landed.
Husband and father Andrew Gustafson returned home to find his wife dead and face down. He fled, called police, and would later report that he refused to look for the children because, quote, I was afraid I would find them.
You know
LaPlante
what,
had
bud?
fingers pointed.
You were right.
LaPlante
You
had
should have
fingers
been
pointed
afraid.
at him almost immediately via forensic evidence. The shirt and gloves he had used to drown the children were found in the woods behind the Gustafsons' house, were still wet, and their scent led police dogs right to LaPlante's house. Lacking evidence for conviction, LaPlante fled and created a massive manhunt until he was found hiding in a dumpster. A jury would find him guilty of murder, and he was convicted on 3 life sentences. He made an appeal for a reduced sentence in 2017, but fuck that guy, so the judge reaffirmed his sentence. And that's the story.
Thank you to whichever judge that was. You did a solid day's work that day.
Yeah, he just read the fucking case and was like, fuck you.
Abso-fucking-lutely not. All right. Well, that was a ride. I'm excited for more.
Oh, yeah. 1995, a string of grisly, religiously inspired murders tormented a metropolitan community, resulting in the gruesome death of 6 area residents. The suspect, known as John Doe, was fatally shot on scene after a detective had learned that his wife was a victim.
Like, you're saying the detective's wife was a victim?
Right.
I feel like that's a movie.
What movie?
I don't fucking know. I'm bad at movie names.
Yeah, I mean, if you guess movie, you have to tell me the movie.
We're
We're not moving onward until you guess the correct movie.
I'm not going to be able to do that. So we're going to live in a
okay.
stalemate of weirdness. At
The
some
weird
point, we'll play
stasis.
this game in the opposite direction because I feel like you're much better at movie names. I'm like, this is a movie. I feel like I've seen this plot. No fucking clue what it would
So
be called.
this was like a YouTube React video where somebody kind of made these and they would ask people, and I definitely was like would hear all of them and be like, that's a movie, that's this movie, that's a movie, that's this movie.
Yeah.
This one is the plot to the movie Seven, starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
That's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the one with the 7 deadly sins killer, but
Yep.
my brain wasn't connecting that it was called Seven. I was just like, I'm pretty sure it's the one with Brad Pitt and Morgan
A little
Freeman.
bit of a spoiler, but I mean, it's 2024. If you haven't seen Seven
Yeah,
and you've decided to listen to this episode of this podcast first, I don't know what to tell you, man. You
Yeah.
made some turns in your life.
Yep, and they're probably pretty normal because I'm sure the amount of people that listen to podcasts over have seen the movie Seven is got to start being a sliding scale now.
All right. 1942, a detective is murdered in the line of duty pursuing an armed robber via piano being dropped from the 15th story of a downtown high-rise.
So he got crushed by a piano like a Looney Tune?
Correct, yes.
Oh, I want so bad for that to be
funny.
real. So I'm going to go with real.
You're going to go with real?
Yeah, I would like that to be the truth.
I enjoy the fact that you said crushed like a Looney Tune because this is actually the plot from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the detective's brother, he was murdered by a piano, and that's like a big plot point as to why he doesn't like tunes anymore.
I love that you did not just choose like true crime movies or not true crime movies, but like I don't know, I guess Roger Rabbit is a detective movie, but
Yeah,
not quite the brand of detective movie I think people would think when you say detective movie.
like I said, the first 10 of these aren't mine. They're somebody else's,
Yeah.
and then I
Yeah.
have more after that.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to even get to those depending on how long this goes, but I do like this and want to do more of these real
Yeah,
or not.
I think this is
It's
cool.
fun. Okay. In 2003, a 5-man crew of Italian thieves stole over $100 million in diamonds, gold, and silver from a vault in Belgium. The crew members had aliases consisting of the Genius, the Monster, the King of Keys, and Speedy. The leader was later nabbed by authorities due to an ill-timed panic attack and a sandwich.
Well, I want to know so bad how the sandwich is related. Fuck, I'm gonna go with real because I also want this to be real. It sounds fun.
It's funny because when I first heard this one, I actually guessed this one wrong. I said movie because it sounded like the Italian Job. It's not. It's the Antwerp Diamond Heist,
Antwerp
which is
Diamond Heist.
it's the largest ever diamond heist and one of the largest robberies in history.
That's fucking
Um,
cool.
yeah, Leonardo Notarbartolo led a crew of men known as the School of Turin. It took 2 years of preparation and planning that starts with infiltrating the city's well-guarded diamond quarter, which is where 80% of the world's diamonds will pass through at any one point in time. So
Holy
within
shit.
the diamond quarter is an even more protected section called the diamond center, which has like an A, B, and C block. And 2 stories below B block is the diamond center's vault, which is supposedly impenetrable. This vault has like a combination lock that requires 4 different numbers to be entered, and each of these go between like 0 and 99. Even after getting through this vault, you're presented with safety deposit boxes, which are each individually locked with a very secure lock that can probably be picked by McNally using a chicken nugget and hotel soap.
What the fuck?
McNally's a lock picking YouTuber. I don't know if you've seen him before. He's kind of like a
Using
mall ninja.
chicken nugget and hotel soap.
He's
What the
yeah.
fuck is a mall ninja? What words are you
You don't know
saying
what a
to
mall
me?
ninja is?
I feel like I'm having a stroke.
Do you remember like those videos or like infomercials of like the overweight guys with samurai swords cutting water bottles?
Yes, we've talked about this more than once on this podcast.
That's a mall ninja.
Oh. So you're saying he's a mall ninja and he can lockpick shit with a chicken nugget and a bar of soap?
Why? He's very skilled at like picking like every lock ever. Uh, Oftentimes he'll use the same lock he's trying to pick to instead just bash it open.
I don't know if that counts as picking it.
But he'll like, oh, you're using a Master Lock V500. It can be picked with a Master Lock V500, and he
What
just
the
fucking
fuck?
oomphs it.
He just
They're funny,
slaps
but
it.
anyway, Leonardo Notarbartolo is a natural-born thief and excellent jewelry designer. One of his jewelry stores gets robbed, and he loses a ton of jewelry and some of his designs. It's believed that the Antwerp diamond heist was motivated by his desire to recoup his losses. So he creates a front company called De Modos Preciosi and smooth talks the manager of the building into renting him an office. So now that he's an official tenant, that means he's entitled to rent a security box, and which is in the vault. So Notarbartolo begins using a video camera to record through a tiny hole in a bag that he just carried around the vault.
All right.
So he hires a crew, the first being Ferdinando Finotto, also known as the Monster. He's named this because he's monstrously good at everything he does, which is a stupid name. The Monster's like
Yeah,
that's your
that's
muscle.
like a
That's your
shitty
muscle.
logic. He's monstrously good at everything he does. We'll call him the monster.
My name's Mike. I'm the good. I have that name because I'm just good at everything. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm
So
pretty good at everything.
yeah, he's monstrously good at everything, and he's also monstrously good at knowing that this heist requires smarts. So they recruit Elio Donorio, which is the genius. He's able to provide solutions to the most complex security systems. And then 12 weeks before the heist, they decided to need a getaway driver, so Notarbartolo reaches out to lifelong friend Pietro Tavano, aka Speedy. There's also the King of Keys, which is an older gentleman said to be one of the best key forgers in the world. His true identity is unknown, and he remains the only member of the crew to successfully escape apprehension. Spoiler alert.
Love that for him.
So it's clear that everybody else gets nabbed in this. Notarbartolo, I'm just going to call him Leonardo because that last name is like
yeah, that's
stupid.
a long fucking last name.
It's nightmare mode on my large, clumsy American tongue. It's a fun name, though. Notarbartolo. Notarbartolo. If I could say it right. Anyway,
I feel like
Leonardo,
you're not doing a terrible job, but the Italians may think differently.
Yeah, all 2 Italians that listen to this podcast. Sorry. Mi scusi, I think is what. At least I think. I don't know. I learned that from Eurotrip. That's probably inaccurate. So
at least you're trying.
Leonardo reaches out to the Diamond Center's manager and says he's looking to expand his business and asks if he could get a floor plan to help. And they just give it to him, as well as schematics for the vault room.
What the fuck?
Bad fucking security.
Clearly. Hey, can I get a floor plan?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah, dude. Here you go.
Oh, that's nothing. Like, there's a little bit in here later on where I'm like, what the fuck? But I'll get there. So
Okay.
they go on to note that the vault isn't physically being observed by security staff at night, which is also stupid. If 80% of the world's diamonds are through here, like no night security, okay.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So 5 days before the heist, the genius enters the building using Leonardo's key card to scan himself in, and then he scans it out again, but then doesn't physically leave. So he has this bitch all to himself. So
Yeah.
he installs his own security camera directly over the combination dial of the vault door so he can see what the combination is. Smart.
Yeah, just a little smart.
So the group allegedly practiced with a full-scale replica of the vault leading up to the actual heist. The day before the heist, Leonardo revisited the vault for a routine visit. Inside, he quickly and discreetly sprayed women's hairspray on the thermal motion sensors, as the oil from the product was transparent but would temporarily insulate the sensor from thermal fluctuations in the room. So it would only be triggered if it detected both heat and motion.
Oh, interesting.
Friday, February 14th, the night before the heist, the gang gathers at Leonardo's apartment, and the monster goes to the local Italian deli and brings back some food, including pasta, tomatoes, and some salami. I don't know why this is in here. The heist begins.
There was something about a sandwich in your description, so I'm hoping it's involved.
It doesn't right there. It doesn't say anything about the sandwich, but that is probably what connects it. So
Yeah.
the heist begins just after midnight, Sunday, February 16th. And to avoid the large number of security cameras in the area around the bank, the King of Keys picks the lock of an abandoned office building that adjoined the Diamond Center, and it also shares a private garden with the Diamond Center that wasn't under video surveillance. So
Of course, because why would we want any kind of video surveillance around one of the
Right.
largest diamond trading locations?
This is 2003, by the way. This isn't even like the 60s. This is 2003.
No, this is even like fucking 1890. It's 2003. In 1890, they at least had the decency to put guards on the fucking walls at night.
So they were able to just get up to the balcony using a ladder. An infrared sensor monitored the terrace, but the genius, it's funny saying that, used a large homemade polyester shield to hide his thermal signature as he approached the sensor and placed the shield in front of it.
Good for him, man.
He just Captain American through it.
Yeah.
So security cameras in the antechamber were covered with black plastic bags to allow the group to turn on the lights. The vault door had a magnetic lock that consisted of 2 plates. When armed, they would trigger a magnetic field, and when the door opened, the field would break, triggering an alarm. The genius overcame this by using a custom-made aluminum plate, which he then attached heavy-duty double-sided adhesive tape to one side. He then stuck it on the 2 bolts and unscrewed them. These guys are fucking crazy.
Dude, can we talk about how the genius is really carrying the fucking team? Everything
really
you're
is.
describing is like, yeah, the entire way through the building had to do with a lack of fucking security and this guy.
What the fuck does the monster do? Well, we know that Leonardo is the
He's
leader.
just
He's the one that
monstrously good at everything.
the Leonardo came up with the plan. He's cased the joint and he's like, okay, here it is. And then it's him and the genius and also the King of Keys. So the King of Keys was never caught, but he's a master at forging keys. So they, had access to everything because of him.
Yeah, I guess
I don't know what the monster does.
thus far the three of them have carried this. And mostly the genius.
The King of Keys had used video footage to successfully make a duplicate of the nearly impossible to duplicate foot-long vault key. Hold on. He used video footage. He watched the video and then made a fucking key of this impossible lock.
I have actually heard, because once upon a time, my parents lost the keys to their Airstream when they were living in an Airstream right after they bought it. And they had a picture of the keys, of them like holding the keys up when they got it. And so they called this guy and he was like, yeah, a good locksmith can actually make keys from photos. And literally he made them all of the keys to their Airstream based off of a single photo
That's
of the
insane.
keys. Yeah. So apparently if you're a good locksmith, that's legit.
So during the robbery, the King of Keys knew that the guards often visited the utility room just before opening the door and decided to investigate and noticed that in the utility closet is just the key.
What?
That's not where you put that. 80% of the world's diamonds.
I refer back to the security at this place is lacking, and I said 1890 before. Really, like the 1400s would probably be more accurate. There's better security.
So he made a duplicate key of this key, but he decided to steal the original key in order to make sure that the vault's manufacturer wasn't aware that the key could be duplicated.
That's fair.
There's more. Heat sensors were blinded with styrofoam boxes. King of Keys picked the lock for the internal gate. King of Keys also used a hand crank jack to break the locks in each of the security boxes. It's really King of Keys, Genius, and Leo.
Yeah. Leo was Leo was the guy that said, "Hey, I don't have the skills, but I'm very good at curating people with the skills. Here's what I've provided for you as like a preliminary research. You do the rest."
So, they all left. The group is caught after Leonardo and Speedy.
Literally, what did the monster do? He has not been mentioned a single time other than his name.
After the King of Keys picked the lock to the internal gate, the monster, working in darkness, moved to the middle of the room, reached to the ceiling, and pushed back a panel, locating this. He's like muscle, but not. He's just a body. He's just we need a fifth to like help fill the bags, please. He did.
We just
okay,
needed someone to help carry things.
The monster did help recruit the genius, so there's that.
That's literally like when you're like starting a fucking team and your friend's friend is really good at something, or you're starting a band and your friend's friend is really good at drums, and you're like, hey man, you should ask Brian if he wants to be in the band. Oh, can I be in the band too?
Well, I mean, it's a really like...
Here's the triangle. We'll have you sometimes.
So the group was caught after Leonardo and Speedy went to dispose of the evidence after their plans, planning to burn it in France. Speedy was overcome with panic at the prospect of transporting such incriminating evidence and insisted they dispose of it in a nearby forest. However, Speedy suffered a panic attack and disposed of the evidence poorly, hurling it into the bushes and mud rather than burning it. Leonardo was busy burning his own evidence.
This exceptional heist was brought down because this dude that really did nothing ultimately in this entire heist.
He was
panicked.
The getaway, but...
But they don't mention that being like extremely important. And it kind of sounds like, from how much effort the genius and the key master put in, that it probably wasn't super necessary. Yeah. Other than, I'm having an adrenaline rush, let's drive kind of fast.
So a local hunter who owned the land found all of this evidence just on his property and called the police, believing it to be caused by local teenagers. So they see that there was a receipt for the grocery store where they had purchased a sandwich and a bunch of other shit too.
Oh
and they used that to fucking just get security footage and just fucking find them.
This makes me mad. This place has like no fucking footage. This place has no
Yeah.
security footage. It's the fucking deli that has a security camera that gets them caught. Like, what the fuck is that? And then
I
it's
don't.
this asshole that did fuck all. And can we talk about you can drop something like a fucking AirPod in the woods and never goddamn find it again? Meanwhile, this hunter's like, I found blueprints. This is weird.
Yeah. Well, it's huge bags of trash that were just thrown in bushes, and he's just like, "What the fuck is all this?"
Yeah,
Like,
I
have you ever found
guess.
like a just a? Have you ever been like hiking and just find like a core spot of just so much trash?
Like
Not to mention,
yes
it's his
and
property, so
no.
like he's probably making the rounds and going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah,
and then called the police based on that.
well, if it's his property, he was probably looking for like mail inside to be like, God damn it, is this Sharon again?
Yeah. So Leonardo refused to rat out his crew, but they were eventually all caught except for the King of Keys. They served like 10 years in prison. That's about it.
Damn, that was a good heist. And then you guys to be taken down. They've got to hate that dude. There's no way that after that
Probably.
10 years of prison, you wouldn't be like, fuck this guy. I'm going to punch him in the face. Because it sounds like they wouldn't have gotten caught.
I guess we'll never know now. So, all right, this next one. 1975, in what was described as a brazen random act of ironic violent malice, a famous English historian was attacked and killed with a broadsword by a man on horseback while filming a documentary on medieval holy wars.
Okay, that's a movie, and it's Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Damn, you got it.
Yeah, I've watched that movie 6 billion times.
Yeah, like when that one is being shown, I was like, that's so obvious, but okay.
It's fucking hilarious.
2018, a man was convicted of stealing human toes worth $11,000 from a corpse.
The human toes are worth $11,000?
Approximately, yes.
I don't feel like that's legitimate because I don't think toes get that much on the black market.
Okay.
So, movie, and I don't know which one? A poorly researched one?
This is real.
Oh my god. And they got $11,000.
They
Why
did
are my
not.
toes so expensive? Were they okay? Was it like a situation where they're trying to sell the toes for $11,000, or is it a
I don't think
situation
so.
where they were? Yeah.
So this is in New Zealand. There's next to no information given because like identity is being protected. I don't know if it's like a New Zealand like law on this kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
This is in regards to the Bodyworks Vital exhibit, but the thief took 2 toes from a preserved corpse of this exhibit, and this Bodyworks Vital uses donated cadavers in its displays. The
Okay, this
corpses,
makes more sense with the value of the
yeah,
toes
the
now.
corpses have been preserved via plastination, which is what old people ask for when they try to get their social security card laminated. By the way, you can't do that. It voids the card.
Yeah, fun fact, if you laminate your social security card.
I remember people like saying, "Well, I'm just trying to protect it while it's in my wallet." Also, not supposed to carry it around in your wallet.
Yeah, why the fuck do you need to carry around your social security? I'm going to let you know that experiencing so many people trying to laminate their social security cards made me feel like I should be carrying mine, but at no point have I ever discovered a reason for me to be carrying my social security card on a regular basis. There's no
I
fucking point.
I definitely carried my social security card with me like all the way into like my mid-20s because I just didn't know any better. Because being part of this generation, you'd understand that we were given almost no guidance on how the world works and how to do things.
Yeah, bordering on none. When I talk to people that got scholarships and things to college, I was like, how do you even apply to those? I don't even know how. I don't even know how to find the class to help me. I think I walked into an office one time and asked about scholarships, and all they did was hand me a list of ones that were like I had to read through a massive book of things that could possibly be
Isn't
applicable
there
to
like a
me.
financial guidance counselor or something?
Dude, who the fuck knows? I walked into my high school office and asked about scholarships, and they literally handed me a pamphlet that just had a bunch of names of scholarships and like a brief description of what maybe makes you eligible.
Huh.
And I was like, where do I now find this and apply to this? What do I need to apply to this?
So anyway, plastinization is a process where a body's water and fat are replaced with a type of liquid plastic, and the
Oh,
plastinized
neat.
corpses are put in positions of like dancing, playing poker, and even just having sex because God is dead. But this exhibit sounds like the Body Works Vital exhibit is what it's called, and it sounds really cool, and I'd like to visit it sometime because
The
it sounds
Bodyworks
interesting.
exhibit is supposed to be really, really fucking cool. I've never been to one, but they're supposed to be pretty exceptional.
Just make sure not to steal toes. I'm guessing it was like he broke two
Sure
toes
not
off
to
and then was
steal
like, oh
toes.
shit, and like tried to pocket it, but then was like apprehended almost immediately. But like I said, there's
N-
like no information given about this case. I couldn't find anything. I only
no,
looked
this
at
is
two Google
like
searches though.
this is some stupid shit I would have done as a teenager. Maybe not actually toes cuz I think I have a certain respect for human life, but I definitely have gone to museums and like done all of the things that it says not to touch the exhibits. And I know of a friend who took the nose Lego off of a Lego museum exhibit. It definitely was not myself.
All right, this next one. A small village in England's West Country was shocked to discover that the local neighborhood watch association was behind a rash of suspicious deaths around the community. One
Could you?
such was local
Sorry.
journalist Tim Messenger was crushed under dislodged masonry from atop the community church tower.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's recap. The local neighborhood watch,
Yeah,
who is in charge of
being
pretending
neighborhood
to be the
watch.
police, yeah, was in charge of was actually murdering people.
They were behind a rash of suspicious deaths.
Okay. So yeah, that's murdering people, is it not?
It's like manslaughter's technically not murder, you know?
How is being behind suspicious deaths not murder? What
Look,
loophole are you
look.
operating in?
That's just the law. Like if you fucking have if you're drunk
Are you
driving
saying
and
like
you
they
hit
sent an
somebody with your
assassin?
car and they die, shut up. If you hit somebody with your car and it's an accident, that's still considered manslaughter. It's
So you're
technically
saying they're
not murder.
accidentally murdering people?
I'm not saying that. I'm telling you what the difference between the two is.
Yes, and I'm saying it's suspicious wording.
It's
Okay.
very suspicious wording. That's the point of this game.
Okay. So they're quote unquote behind these suspicious deaths. And then one of the suspicious deaths is this dude getting crushed by a bell from a bell tower?
Dislodged masonry
Sorry,
was the
dislodged
wordage.
masonry from the bell tower.
Eh.
That feels like a movie to me.
Oh, what movie?
I don't know why Kick Ass is coming into my mind because I feel like it's definitely not that.
It's definitely not Kick Ass if it's
Yeah,
a
I didn't
movie.
think so. I was like, I don't think that's the plot of that at all. I have no fucking clue.
This is from Hot Fuzz.
I have actually
Don't
never
say
watched
this.
Hot
Oh my
Fuzz. And
god.
no, no, no. And let me explain to you what I mean
I
by never
don't
watched Hot
care. I
Fuzz.
don't care.
No, let me explain because I have watched Hot Fuzz more than once. I have never watched Hot Fuzz. I've seen it in the background and I've listened to it. It's been on a television in my vicinity. There's been no reason for me not to watch it, and I've never watched Hot Fuzz.
You can't say you watched it then.
I know, I'm just telling you, like, I've made an attempt. It just never.
I've been around a concert before, but I haven't played at a concert, you know?
No, it's like, no, it's a little different. It's as if you paid the ticket to go to the concert, stuck in earplugs, and then looked at your phone the whole time.
Which is what you did with this movie.
Yes,
Okay.
essentially.
Uh in 1993, a four-star restaurant became a house of horror when a guest, seemingly possessed, started attacking patrons and staff. In what was described as something otherworldly, when the staff tried to subdue him, he severely broke a man's arm before violently biting and mutilating another staff member's genitals. Body count included a man thrown from a window and another with a massive chest trauma from cardiac extraction.
Rough. Can you repeat that?
No.
No, seriously, one more time.
Like the whole thing from the start?
Yeah,
Can you
honestly.
put your phone down so you could listen and pay attention?
I don't have my phone. My
Oh,
brain keeps
sure
doing
you
this
don't.
thing where when you start talking right after you've described like a movie, I for some reason keep expecting you to describe the plot of the movie, and then halfway through the description I'm
I
like, "Oh
already
fuck, this is
did.
not the thing." No, but I mean like you vaguely hinted at 7, and then there was never like a description of the 7 deadly sins at all. But so when you started your next description, I was like, this isn't that movie. Anyway,
All
so
right,
my
I'm going to
brain
start
keeps.
over. I'm going to start over,
Yeah, thank you.
and I'm only going to say it one more time.
Yes.
1993. A 4-star restaurant became a house of horror when a guest, seemingly possessed, started attacking patrons and staff. In what was described as something otherworldly, when the staff tried to subdue him, he severely broke a man's arm before violently biting and mutilating another staff member's genitals. Body count included a man thrown from a window and another with massive chest trauma from cardiac extraction.
Cardiac extraction, as in he pulled out his heart.
I won't repeat it.
I know, because you said you're not going to repeat it again. um, Part of me is like Indiana Jones, Kali Ma, but this isn't the setting of that scene.
Kali Ma. This is also
Kali Ma.
1993. I think that was
Brittany,
1980.
fact check.
No. That would be cheating if you can't just fact check. Type in the plot to Google. Tell me what movie this is. No.
No, that's not what I mean.
V2.
Real?
You're saying real?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not real?
Fake. This is a scene from Dumb and Dumber.
Holy fuck. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I was like, I don't know. It's probably a movie, but who the fuck knows? Yeah, it is a scene from Dumb and Dumber. Cardiac extraction.
It was like a Kali Ma situation
No, it
too.
was. I know. And I was sitting there like, the only movie I can come up with is this. That's another movie I've seen a stupid amount of times, so I should have known that.
Temple of Doom, 1994. Wow.
Boom.
So Dumb and Dumber did it first, and then Indiana Jones stole it.
That's fucking hilarious. They were like, let's do this, but let's make it serious. That's really funny.
All right. 1971. In a brazen act of air piracy, a man successfully hijacked a Boeing 727, extorted $200,000, and secured some parachutes throughout hostage negotiation. He then opened the aircraft door mid-flight and leapt out of the plane with money somewhere into the Pacific Northwest, never to be seen again.
Movie. And it's not snakes on a plane.
This is actually real.
No way.
I'm surprised. Like, I heard this one. I'm like, oh, I know this one. This is the famous case of D.B. Cooper.
Oh, fuck.
Which has a lot of movies tied to it.
Yeah. I think the only thing, honestly, where I know DB Cooper from is Without a Paddle.
Yeah, Without a Paddle. That's the one I just go to also. What a fucking cast. Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, and Dax Shepard. Fuck.
Yeah.
Get those guys back together, please.
Do you recall the PSP, the PlayStation Portable?
Yes.
I had Without a Paddle on miniature DVD for the PSP.
They were called UMDs.
Is that what they were actually called?
Or yeah, they were called UMDs.
Ultra Mini Disc?
Something like that. I had a couple movies myself. I still have them. Fifth Element is a movie that I have on every medium ever because. Also, Final Fantasy Advent Children. Also because.
I think I had Without a Paddle, Bewitched, the movie with Will Ferrell.
That was an awful movie.
It was really terrible. And Lords of Dogtown were the 3 movies that I had.
I hated that movie.
Really?
I just didn't
used
like
to love
it.
that movie as a kid.
I don't know. It's based on a real story, but all the characters are super unlikable because they are real people, and real people suck.
Yeah, exactly.
Very unlikable people. All right.
I feel like it's one of the few things based on a true story that stays true to its content because the people fucking suck.
So this is the case of D.B. Cooper, which was never solved. It went exactly as it was described. He was never seen again. Some of the
That's
money was recovered
crazy.
in the wilderness, weathered by the elements, but the majority went to D.B. Cooper. There's a lot of theories and conjecture that I can make an entire podcast out of, honestly. The FBI doesn't even fully agree on one theory. Most
Love that.
believe that he didn't even survive the jump, saying he had no skydiving experience, lack of proper equipment for the jump and survival, temperature and inclement weather on the night of the hijacking, his lack of
Okay,
knowledge.
hold
Uh,
on. One thing here.
yeah,
Y- yes, skydiving is a skill. The process of pulling the fucking parachute, not that high up on the level of skills that you need.
I mean that's what Wiki says, but whatever. There's that's just one of many lists of reasons.
Yeah, I
The
know. That
biggest
was just a
one,
really insane one. He doesn't know how to pull the parachute cord. It would
yeah,
be better if you were like, it didn't fucking fold or unfold.
the biggest one is that the unused money, ransom money, never showed up. So
Oh,
as you know,
interesting.
money has serial numbers on it, and then like when money gets stolen, they know what serial numbers they are, and that money never showed up in circulation.
Weird.
Um, yeah.
Well, I guess not weird. He jumped out of a plane over who knows what.
There's a quote from an FBI agent on this saying, "We concluded after a few years that this was simply not true. No experienced parachutist would have jumped in the pitch black night in the rain with 172-mile-per-hour wind in his face, wearing loafers and a trench coat. It was simply too risky. We believe that he died."
Probably, yeah.
Others made the argument that he made it out and slept in his own bed that night, saying that the night was actually clear and the country is pretty flat. In fact, 5 separate men attempted copycat hijackings, and all 5 survived their parachute escapes.
What the fuck? Why are people debating the weather? Isn't that like a
I
fact of the evening?
girl, I don't know. It's
I
the
would
FBI
think,
too. You'd think they'd have a better fucking answer on
yeah,
this.
you'd think they would be at least agreed upon with something factual, as in, was it raining or no, when he ripped open the fucking door to the plane.
All right, next one.
Yep.
1994, authorities were searching for a missing child after discovering his deceased father at the bottom of a remote canyon. The victim's brother is asking the community to be on high alert and to be prepared.
Um, movie? I don't know. That seems like not a lot of details.
I mean, it's all the detail that you need, honestly.
I just love asking the community to be on high alert and prepared.
To be prepared.
I'm gonna go with a movie. I don't fucking know what movie.
It's The Lion King.
Wait, can you read your description one more time? I think
uh,
when you have a movie, you need to read the description one more time. Because the first time I'm going in blind.
Authorities were searching for a missing child after discovering his deceased father at the bottom of a remote canyon. The victim's brother is asking the community to be on high alert and to be prepared.
I like how you even snuck in, be prepared. That is so fucking funny. Well, I got movie right.
All right, next one. A very verbose and eccentric presidential candidate was about to give a 50-page speech on a campaign trail when a man opened fire and shot him. Many rushed to his aid, but they were waved away as he bravely finished his planned speech.
That's real, and isn't it Ronald Reagan? No,
No.
no, just
Reagan.
kidding. No, Reagan, like a balloon popped, and he said, "You're not gonna get me," or some shit like that. Could you imagine, like,
Yeah.
a balloon popping and you being like, "Ah, you're not gonna get me this time." Oh fuck. I'm sorry. Okay, what is it actually? Because it's not what I said.
Are you saying movie or real?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with real.
It is real. This is Teddy Roosevelt,
Ah,
which
the
makes
legitimately
sense.
cool president.
Yeah. An
Yeah,
attempted
it's a very Teddy
assassination.
Roosevelt thing.
Yeah, an attempted assassination went awry when a bullet passed through the 50 pages of his speech and his eyeglass case, slowing the bullet and keeping it from inflicting mortal danger. And then he promptly just finished his speech.
Love
Just
that.
that's I love that for him. Yeah.
Have we had a president as cool as Teddy Roosevelt since Teddy Roosevelt? I feel like no.
I mean, it all boils down to opinion, but like there have been some presidents that have been okay.
No, I said as cool as. I was specific with my wording because this man, am I correct in that Teddy Roosevelt was the dude that did national parks, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
And he got shot and continued his long speech. And he has cool quotes.
I mean, deny whether he was a good president or not, but Obama is the most charismatic president fucking in 100 years.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about like good or bad. I was saying cool, and I would agree with you that I feel like since Teddy Roosevelt, we have not had a super cool president outside of Obama.
Yeah. Like, you disagree with his policies all day. I don't really care, but like the man had
He's pretty
charisma.
chill. Yes, he did.
Or as the kids are calling it, the Riz. He had the Riz.
That's how Michelle got with him. He had the Riz.
Next one. A mother is killed after lying to her daughter and keeping her imprisoned for the majority of her life. The daughter ran off with her boyfriend but was eventually apprehended.
Movie Rapunzel. Or Tangled.
I'm so glad you said that because I even wrote down, although also the plot of Tangled, I realized when writing this, it's actually the case of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, the famous warning
it's a
of
both.
Munchausen by proxy. No.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
Because
the
I did
Munchausen by
say
proxy. Because you said apprehended.
apprehended. Yes, that was
See, I
the
took that.
fucking key.
I took that as so at the end of Tangled, and this is the plot similarity. She like her and the pseudo mom confront each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, apprehended I guess is kind of a stronger word than confronting.
Yeah, this is another crazy case that honestly you can make a whole podcast out of. Many people
There
already
are
have.
multiple. Yeah.
She even has a book about it, and there's all like legitimate documentaries out because this is such a crazy case.
Shit's wild.
But she is a victim of Munchausen by proxy. Her mother, Dee Dee, insisted that Gypsy Rose had a number of health issues from infancy, saying that she had muscular dystrophy and needed a walker. At 7, after a minor motorcycle accident with her grandfather, in which she obtained a minor knee abrasion, she was told by her mother that she needed a wheelchair. Yeah, Brittany, I'm getting there. Shut up. Fuck's sake.
Don't get mad at our fact checker. She's just helping us.
I have the facts right fucking here. Where was I? Oh yeah. So
fact faster, Gamish.
I have to speak. You could type. I could type faster than you could speak. I know that for sure.
There's no way.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dee Dee kept Gypsy Rose's head shaved to mimic the hairless appearance on a chemotherapy patient, stating that her medication would eventually cause it all to fall out anyway. And when they would leave the house, Dee Dee often took an oxygen tank and feeding tube with them. So Gypsy Rose was always treated as an infant and fed Pediasure well into her 20s.
Rough.
She was mostly toothless as her teeth rotted away due to the removal of her salivary glands. Because Dee Dee used a numbing agent to numb her gums, causing her to drool, and then convinced doctors to remove the glands.
What the fuck?
A lot of shitty doctors were like, okay.
Well, I suppose.
So Gypsy Rose was somewhat aware that she wasn't like genuinely sick, but Dee Dee kept a short leash and would physically abuse her like with a coat hanger. And then also like kept her out of school and claiming that she was like mentally incompetent was also a big strategy in keeping her docile. So like she definitely questioned whether she was like mentally sound or not.
Yeah.
So she attempted to escape in 2011 at a science fiction and fantasy convention with a man she met online. Dee Dee found them in a hotel room and produced a birth certificate saying that Gypsy Rose was underage and threatened to tell the police. Said birth certificate was falsified, and the original would state that Gypsy Rose was an adult. Dee Dee forged the document potentially multiple times to keep her appearing younger. And apparently Gypsy Rose wasn't even sure of her real age for like 14 years.
That's fucking crazy. Could you imagine not knowing how fucking old you are, not knowing what like a fucking garlic butter steak is? Like, and this bitch is shaving your head all the time. That's
Okay.
too much. Well, no, because I was thinking when you said that she was like getting fed through feeding tubes all the time.
Oh yeah.
It's like that would suck dick. You
Also
don't even know what
Pediasure.
Oreos. You
Pediasure.
yes,
Fucking
that's ass.
uh
I mean,
so
it's ass for a lot of reasons, but Jesus.
so in 2014, Gypsy Rose met a man named Nicholas Gojon on a Christian singles website. Gojon had a criminal record for indecent exposure and a history of mental illness. They became intimate and allegedly began planning to kill Dee Dee. And so on June 10th, 2015, after Dee Dee went to sleep, Gypsy Rose allegedly let Gojon into the house and gave him duct tape, gloves, and a knife with the understanding that he would be used to murder Dee Dee, which he did. Gojon stabbed Dee Dee 17 times in the back while she was asleep. The two attempted to flee but were eventually caught and arrested. Gypsy Rose pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but was released on parole 2023 after serving 8 years. She's also pregnant now. Gojon was found guilty of the first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. Now, killing is wrong, and I can't justify it, but Dee Dee sucked. And
Yeah, that's I think we're
she needed
like
to be
yes
wiped from this earth, and like I honestly don't think I would have been able to do it any differently. Not to mention like the fact that she was like infantized and kept like as a stupid baby.
for who
She
knows how long, considering she lied to her about her age.
it
Could you
it,
imagine
it could
celebrating your
yeah
birthday every like 3 years, just having no concept of what fucking day it is?
yeah like you could make the argument that she wasn't even like aware what she was doing and like she just needed to get out and I like I said I can't say I would have done any differently.
Yeah,
It's a
no,
fucked
if
if it's a fucked position.
yep. Yeah, I don't think I can really be super judgmental about those
I
decisions,
mean she
to
was
be
kept in
honest.
prison for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I mean, people have done worse for lesser imprisonments, so
Yeah. 2009, a family adopts an orphan Russian girl who, in truth, is actually an adult and attempts to murder the mother and seduce the father.
that's a movie. I think it's called Orphan.
Yes, actually, it is.
I have never seen it, but I remember
I
the
have.
description vividly because I was like, what the fuck is that?
I included this one because there is like a real case from this movie that took place after it. I
Like,
even wrote down this is Orphan and not the tale of Ukrainian orphan Natalia Grace, who had her childhood robbed from her because of terrible people adopting her and imprinting this movie on their lives.
oh God.
I highly recommend The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. It's a documentary of the story, and it's all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that what
it's
Orphan's based off of?
no. Orphan is just a movie, and then this Natalia Grace situation happened after the movie, and like these parents were terrible, and they watched the movie, and then they adopted this Ukrainian little person who's like 6 years old, and then they basically just started like, oh no, she's planning to kill this whole family, and it's like she's 6 years old, bro.
Oh, so
She
this
also
family was like trying to live out the plot of Orphan?
maybe not intentionally, but
But
God, they were
yeah, but
stupid. Yes,
they're fucking psychotic, is my point here. They're also the
absolutely.
types of people that would make a lobster watch another lobster boil alive and then leave it in the ocean and release it so it can tell its friends.
Yeah, a fact checker has informed us that Natalia Grace was adopted in 2010, which is a year after this movie came out. So they saw this movie, adopted a kid less than a year later, and then were like, the movie came true.
What the fuck? You know what? It's not that fast to adopt kids, which makes me think that this plan was in action for a while.
Yeah.
Oh
All right,
my
I have
God.
one more.
Okay.
So, 1928, after a mother reports her son is missing, the police eventually find her son. The mother claimed that this was not her son, but an imposter, and police arrest her for being a bad mother and commit her to a psychiatric ward.
I'm gonna go with movie, and I think it's Changeling. And maybe Sandra Bullock's in it. I don't know.
It's actually Angelina Jolie, but
Fuck. There
no,
we
this
go.
is
I was
this is
close.
real.
Oh shit.
There is the movie Changeling based on
Yeah.
this story. Um,
So it's a both.
yeah. The movie does star Angelina Jolie, and it's directed by Clint Eastwood, I think.
Okay.
And it is based on the disappearance of Walter Collins and is a part of the Wineville chicken coop murders. I'm not going to get into the Wineville
Excuse me?
chicken coop murders. I
No,
know.
no.
Um,
What do you mean you're not going to get into the Wineville chicken coop? You can't
maybe
drop that
maybe
type of a
another
name.
day. I'm just going to talk about the disappearance of Walter Collins and his whole part in this. So, Walter Collins disappeared on March 10th, 1928, after Christine, the mother, gave him money to go to the cinema. Walter's disappearance received nationwide attention, and the Los Angeles Police Department followed up on hundreds of leads without success. The police faced negative publicity and increased public pressure to solve the case. Then, 5 months after Walter's disappearance, a boy claiming to be Walter was found in DeKalb, Illinois. Letters and photographs were exchanged before Christine Collins paid for the boy to be brought to Los Angeles. After the reunion, Christine Collins said that the boy was not Walter. Under the pressure to resolve the case, the officer in charge, Captain J.J. Jones, convinced her to,
Okay, J.
quote-unquote,
Jonah Jameson.
I know, I thought that too. He convinced her to, quote-unquote, try the boy out by taking him home.
What the fuck?
You know, like a sweater. So she returned 3 weeks later, again saying that this was not her son, although she had dental records and backing from friends to prove her case. Collins said Jones accused her of being a bad mother and bringing ridicule to the police. Jones had Collins committed to a psychiatric ward under a Code 12 internment, a term used to jail or commit someone who is deemed difficult or an inconvenience, which makes sense for 1928. So, Jones questioned the boy, who admitted to being 12-year-old Arthur Hutchins Jr., a runaway from Iowa. Hutchins was picked up by the police in Illinois, and when asked if he was Walter Collins, he first said no, but then said yes, which sounds like standard police interrogation. His motive as posing for as Collins was to get to Hollywood so he could meet his favorite actor, Tom Mix.
What the fuck? Who even is that?
It's Tom Mix. You don't know Tom Mix? He
no,
was
name like a major film.
He was like the Ryan Reynolds of 1928. I don't fucking know. I'm making this up. Collins.
The Ryan Reynolds. I forgot we're in 1928. If you look up Tom Mix, it's him wearing a very, very large hat that reminds me of Twinkies.
the Twinkie Kid, I think is what it is.
No, I don't know.
Twinkie
but I'm
the
gonna
Kid?
post it. I'm posting it in. Yes. Exactly. It reminds me of Twinkie the Kid.
Let's take a look at this shit, dude.
Does it not?
His hat looks like a very broad butt plug. Like you're looking at it from a weird angle.
Oh fuck.
So Collins was released 10 days after Hutchins admitted that he was not her son and filed a lawsuit against the Los Angeles Police Department. Collins won a lawsuit against Jones and was awarded $10,000. That's it.
Well, it's 1928.
Yeah, it's equivalent to $200,000 now, which Jones never paid.
That's still not a lot. $200,000 for someone fucking accusing me of being fucking insane because I said that's not my child and it actually was not my child.
Yeah. The actions of LAPD outraged the public, rightfully so, and were particularly embarrassing for Chief James Davis. Well, it's a good thing that police would eventually clean up their act and not be embarrassing to the public, right? So
Sure.
In 1929, Gordon Stewart Northcott was found guilty of abducting, molesting, and killing 3 young boys in what became known as the Wineville Chicken Coop murders.
What the fuck? Okay, now I need to look up the Wineville Chicken Coop murders. So many questions.
Northcott's mother, Sarah Louise Northcott, confessed in late 1928 to her participation in the murder of Walter Collins as being amongst her son's victims. Following her confession, she was sentenced without trial to life imprisonment for her role in Walter's death.
Wait, how old was this kid supposed to be?
The young one was 12?
So some other at least 12-year-old looking kid murdered a 12-year-old, impersonated him.
The person behind the Wineville Chicken Coop murders. I'm guessing teenager.
Damn, that's crazy though.
Like I said, I'm not going anywhere into the Wineville Chicken Coop murders. We're already at like an hour. So the state chose not to prosecute Gordon Northcott for Walter's murder and instead brought him to trial for the murders of the 3 other young boys for which there was forensic evidence. He was found guilty for all 3 murders and sentenced to death. Despite these convictions, Gordon Northcott denied killing Walter Collins, and Sarah Northcott later attempted to rescind her confession and gave other scattered and inconsistent statements. Christine Collins, who chose to believe her son was still alive, in spite of the guilty plea entered by Sarah Northcott to a judge and corroborated testimony by Sanford Clark in the murder of Walter Collins, corresponded with Gordon Northcott and received permission to interview him shortly before his execution. Northcott pledged to explain the true account of her son's fate, but he recanted at the last minute and professed his innocence of any involvement, which is a bitch move to do. You're going to die anyway.
Yeah, just fucking go for it, dude.
Collins was further encouraged by the appearance of another boy that Northcott had abducted and probably molested. The police initially thought the boy might have been a murder victim of Northcott's. Collins continued to search for her son for the rest of her life. Collins attempted several times to collect the money owed to her by Jones, including a 1941 case in which she was attempted to collect a $15,000 settlement equivalent to $320,000, but never got it. Christine died December 8th, 1964 at the age of 75 without son.
Damn. That's rough.
Very rough.
I did not know Changeling was based off of a real story.
It's funny, yeah, because I was looking this up and I found Changeling the movie, and yeah, I thought it'd be a neat one to throw in there. Because Changeling was a pretty big movie.
Yeah, it was a big movie. I've never actually watched it, but I did know that it existed.
It's weird that this is like the one movie you pulled out of your ass too.
I had two weird movies that I pulled out of my ass. It was three. Monty Python, and I remember Orphan because I remember that movie coming out, me not wanting to watch it, and then someone describing to me the plot, and I went, "What the fuck?" And then I don't know why I know Changeling.
I eventually watched Orphan after watching the Curious Case of Natalia Grace, because I wanted to know more about the movie. There was a second movie of Orphan, which was a prequel to Orphan.
What the fuck? I did not know that it was a prequel.
And it was made 10 years after Orphan and had the same actress. And she's like 30 something playing a fucking 7-year-old.
Why is it a prequel?
It's not good. And I don't blame her because she was a fantastic actress in the first movie, but I just don't know why they got the same person to play the little girl. Yeah,
child?
Dude.
Yeah, what the fuck? Oh my god. Okay, I have one for you.
Ooh, I like this. Okay.
Okay. I've been trying to figure out like how best to describe it following your themes. So a man accuses another man of stealing his religion. During this argument, he beats him unconscious and then begins eating his face. When the police arrive on the scene, they shoot the man multiple times, and his response to being shot multiple times is to repeatedly growl and continue biting victims.
Is this The Mask?
Like the one with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
No. No, it's
not. It's been a while, but like I was like connecting dots, like because it is the Mask of Loki. It's kind of religious, and they're definitely trying to tear mask faces off each other.
No, it is not The Mask. Do you have any other guesses?
Sorry, were you finished?
Yeah, pretty much. The police try to shoot him. He continues growling and biting victims and attacking people.
I don't know. It's gonna be like one where it's like, oh, obviously, and I'm stupid, but yeah, let me have it.
Okay, so this is. Do you remember the bath salts face eating incident in Florida from 2012? That's this. That's why
Okay. I was
like,
expecting
this one's perfect because it sounds kind of like a zombie movie or something.
I like that. You were explaining this awful story about bath salts. This guy having a drug craze and eating somebody,
is this
and I'm
the
like,
Mask?
Is this Jim Carrey's The Mask?
I know. Welcome to my world. Now you know the other side of the fence where you're like, are you fucking stupid? This is obviously a movie.
I don't know. It's fun. I love this.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Yes. On the morning of May 26, 2012, 31-year-old Rudy Eugene drove to Miami Beach, Florida. After spending 30 to 40 minutes at the site.
That's your first mistake. Don't go to Florida.
No, Florida ruins everyone. There was security video of him getting into an argument with this man named Popo, and he accused him of stealing his Bible, beat the man unconscious, removed his pants, bit most of his face off above his beard, leaving the man blind in both eyes and later deceased due to injuries. Um, sorry, I'm like piecing this together.
It's just like
His
the
vehicle was
juxtaposition
eventually
of oh yeah, he ate his face, he died, yada yada yada. All right, where
yada
was
yada
I with
yada. Da, 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 da. His vehicle was eventually discovered and towed by Miami Beach police. Inside the car, police discovered the Bible he thought was stolen, 5 empty water bottles. Eugene, who eventually became completely naked, discarding his clothes, shoes, and Bible at the crime scene, encountered 65-year-old Ronald Popo, which is when he started eating his fucking face. A cyclist came across the attack and reported it to authorities. A few minutes later, the police showed up, did a double take at the spectacle, warned Eugene to stop eating the man's face. He ignored the officer's warnings and
Hey,
instead repeatedly
stop.
growled at the officer and then resumed biting his face. The officers began shooting at Eugene first at just one time at first, which proved ineffective, and then another 4 times, which he eventually succumbed to his wounds. The ordeal was captured on a security camera footage on the Miami Herald building. Wow, they didn't have to go far for that report.
I would have shot him like 20 times. Like if you what you're seeing is
Is he's eating a man's fucking face. That's
pretty
the
much
beginning of the zombie
pretty much the
apocalypse.
beginning of a zombie movie. You shoot
Yes,
him, he's unaffected. 20 more bullets immediately. Just no, no,
yes.
no, 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 no.
Yeah, he ate 75 to 80% of this man's face.
Not okay. Like
No.
I remember when this happened too. It was kind of joked about for a while because is so absurd, but it is very harrowing at the same time. This shit is in Florida. It's
Oh,
you're
this is
1,000% more likely to be eaten by a zombie in Florida than anywhere else in the world.
Oh, I don't think Popo died. Sorry, I thought it was listed under deaths. It's listed under injuries. So the guy whose face was eaten did not die. He spoke to police and explained that he knew Eugene, but not very well. He approached him in a friendly manner, complained that he couldn't score at the beach, and souped up on something, is the direct quote. Started to talk about how they were going to die, accused Popo of stealing his Bible, and without provocation began attacking, strangling, wrestling, and plucking his eyes out. Popo lost his eyebrows, nose, parts of his forehead, his cheeks, his left eye, and is totally blind due to the damage. He underwent multiple surgeries and repair after rehabilitation. He relearned how to dress, eat, shower, and shave. Well, that's good. He was granted permission to stay at the medical facility indefinitely. You know what's interesting though?
Yeah.
So when this came out, everybody thought that it was because of bath salts, but the toxicology report of the dude that was eating people's faces said that he only had like a small amount of marijuana in his blood.
Well, I mean, there's also some mental illness for sure happening here.
Oh, yeah. Well,
But
and the toxicologists are also like, we don't have a test for fucking everything. So if
yeah,
this is a new drug that doesn't have stuff that we normally
not
test
to
for,
mention like marijuana affects everybody differently. Like
yeah, I like to eat people's faces when I smoke marijuana.
I'm not saying like marijuana was the cause, but like marijuana has done some crazy shit to my brain, and for somebody like me who has had very, very, very bad uh, reactions to it, I can kind of see the possibility of somebody in a worse position with a mental disorder kind of going 11 on this shit.
Yes. Yeah. Going in the wrong direction.
I don't
Dude,
know
you
if
know
you
what's
you read,
insane?
but like apparently there's no differences in like cannabis strains like indica, sativa. It's all the same.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like the effect where it's like, well, one's an up, like one has a more like energizing effect, and the other one makes you mellow. That's all bullshit.
Where did
Apparently,
you read this?
uh,
I'm so intrigued.
like there's a whole like they had like a double blind test. If you Google it, I'm not gonna Google it for you, but I know that the
You can't
local
because your keyboard's hidden.
did, yes, but Lost Coast Outpost like posted like an article on it, and it had like the sources and like scientists and even people who have been like long cannabis growers like did tests, and they're like, yeah, man, it's bullshit, and it's kind of sad.
Eh,
I don't know what this means for the future, but like honestly, it's mostly placebo. It's I've always considered like it's just like alcohol or tobacco. If it works for you, man, just do it. You don't need to like make up health benefits. It's okay. Like cigarettes are good for weight loss or something. I don't know what I'm saying, but like just it's a vice. It's fine.
Have a good time. Do
Have a
your
good
thing.
time. Get the munchies or mellow out before work. I don't care. Whatever works, works.
Whatever
Don't.
floats your boat, floats your boat. Enjoy the motion of your own ocean.
If placebo works, fucking go for it. I know that like placebo doesn't really work on me because I'm skeptical about everything,
Yeah.
but I mean, do it. Anyway, my music for the week, because I have music and this is the end of our show, I would like to recommend Anya Nami and her song Bread.
Anya not how do you spell that?
Anya, like Anya Taylor Joy, Anya, and then Nami, Nami, like the
Yeah.
One Piece character.
Yeah, and you said the song Bread.
Yes, it's like a 2 minute
Okay.
song about bread. It's a song about
It's
bread.
a 2-minute song about bread. Did you
It's
do this on
funny, but it's
purpose to
also a
fuck with
bop.
me?
What?
You said let me recommend the song about bread to the person that can't eat bread.
Yeah, it's a good song. But it's like 2 minutes long, and it's funny, but it's also a bop. And honestly, like I've noticed a big trend because I listen to a lot of Joey Valence and Bray, and music
Mhm.
songs these days are usually under like 2.5 minutes now.
Yeah.
Like
There's
songs
not a
have been
lot
like
that are
really
super
short,
long. I get really surprised when they're, you
which
know,
is it
like a
might
little
be
bit more
because
dragged out.
because of the rise of like ADHD or just attention deficit in general, where people are like, I don't have the time or attention for this. Please make it super short, which is great for me because I am definitely somebody who's addicted to YouTube Shorts. Because like symphonic metal is one of my favorite genres of music, but I can't listen to it because every song's like 13 fucking minutes. I can't
It's
do
too
it.
much. Yeah.
Symphonic metal's great. Like if you can listen for 13 minutes, fucking go for it. There's some great shit out there, but I just can't pay attention for too long.
You like that time limit is too much for me.
Yeah.
My suggestion of the week is some dude that I recently found. His name is Miles Smith. I don't really have a specific song for you guys cuz just go try him out. But it's like I don't know, it's like a pop
It's
rock
indie.
rap.
It's indie. She recommends indie. It's always indie.
It's
People
always indie, but it is also pop
90%
rock
of
rap.
people have never heard of this person.
Yeah, no, probably not. But it was good. I listened to a song and I liked it. So that's what I got for you.
I already forgot the guy's name. Matt Smith?
Miles Smith. If you
Miles
want
Smith.
not indie,
Not Doctor
Fear by
Who.
Logic, or just any song by Logic, enjoy.
Oh, Logic's good.
I know.
He's
I
hella
don't listen
popular
to
though.
just indie. Yeah, I try to pick the less popular, which tends to
One
be
of my favorite
indie.
songs he does is Logic does a song that has like Seth MacFarlane in it. I think I've recommended that
Yes,
before.
yes, you did, and it's
Yeah.
really, really good.
Logic is also in a Joey Valence and Bray song, Tanaka 2. And he
Mm-hmm.
raps at them, and that's one of my favorite songs to go to. I
Yup.
think that one is about 3 minutes, but it's worth it.
Well, the Logic song that you recommended is like 5 minutes and 15 seconds, but it's also kind of bullshit because they like talk for a lot
Yeah,
of time.
yeah,
I think it's
like
at the
the
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Logic also does a remix of Justice's DANCE. I don't know if you've heard, you know that song, right?
No.
Look up Justice DANCE and you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh, I fucking know the song. This is the Michael Jackson song. But Logic does like a remix of that where he like raps to the music and it's really fucking good.
Is
Yeah,
I think I know who. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah.
it's a good
I
music
know what
video
you're talking
too.
about.
Anyway, thank you for
Anyway.
listening to this
Yes.
podcast. It's my podcast and there's no other podcast like it. Rachel also
It's
has a
our
podcast.
podcast.
Rachel also has a
It's
podcast that's
but it is
unlike any
just
other
like this one.
podcast, and it's
No, no,
it's this
no.
it's the
It's
same as this
just like this
podcast.
one.
But
Yeah.
also, it's the same as this podcast, but unlike any other podcast too.
Yes. And if you liked what you heard, or you just fucking hate listening to us, please like, subscribe, and download on whatever your most favoritist podcasting place happens to be. If you want us to talk about a thing, please email us at whtpah@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at We Have That Podcast at Home, or Woodpa on Blue Sky, because I'm not going to spell it again, so you just get the sound. Next week
Have you
we will
posted
be
anything on Blue Sky?
No, I need to do that.
I haven't even checked it. I don't. Anyway, next week we'll be tackling the crazy, titillating subject of
Fiction. Bum, bum,
fiction.
bum. I've been off-brand Rachel.
Sorry, was that fiction or fission?
Fishin'.
Not fission, so it's about
Fiction.
fish. Fiction.
Fishin'.
Fission.
Fiction.
Fiction.
Fishkin.
Fi-
Fishkin.
fi-
The children of fish.
I've been off-brand Gamage, and this has been We Have That Podcast at Home. Thank you for listening.
Love you.